So you have brokers up on happening around. Just finding properties, going to see properties, finding people, talking to people. That's really what it's all about, right? And how do you build? Let's just talk about around these subjects a little bit. Knowing your market is know what's available in the market. What kind of activity is going on. When offers come, when a property comes up, how much are they closing at? Is it, in this market, I'm gonna ask you guys, you guys think every listener right now is getting multiple offers?
We think every property is getting multiple offers.
Do you think so?
No.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because there may be some how can I say it, aesthetics that aren't upgraded for whatever reason that a person may not think it's attractive or may not see it as potential to upgrade or look nice, and so it just sits there. But for the most part, multiple offers, I would say yes.
Right. That's knowing your market. I like that. That's really knowing your market, because that's the truth. Not every listener. I put a listing up, I had to do a price reduction. $50,000 price reduction. Because my seller is like, oh, I should get this much. And it comes in that area, it shows that too. And I looked at it, I said, well, yours is on a main street, it's a little bit different. Why don't we price a little bit lower? And then if you're not gonna lose what you're supposed to get. But she's like, no, this sort of property sold for this much, that's what I want to get. So of course I'm like, this.
How long was the property on the market?
Before I price it down?
Yes.
Oh, I changed it like a week later. I didn't play around with it. Because I told her I'm gonna let you have your way. But if nothing didn't happen, we did an open house for 2 days. Then we had like 3 or 4 people came to the open house. Now, on the other hand, you list another property, there's 100 people that shows up, right? So it's not everything that's going, it's just knowing the market. And those are the conversations you're gonna have with potential sellers, like, okay, this is happening here, that may not happen. I mean, we just put one an escrow, and that one too was only one offer that came in. It was a good offer, and we put an escrow with that. There's only one offer that came in. It's like 3 people that looked at it. And I'm like, okay, in this community, there's not a whole lot of listings. And I know I've even had agents been calling me like, Gary, you're gonna have a listing come up in the community. So I thought I didn't even have to put that property in the market. I was, messaging up all these agents like, hey, I got one coming, You got your buyer. So it's not all. However, most of them are hot, right? So it's just knowing, the ins and outs of the marketplace, right? Okay, so and then you build your expertise by going to this, being around this listing, being around wherever you want to work at. If a property comes up, go take a look at it, right? It just gets the mindset in the ability of knowing what your market is like, right? So I'm not a big fan of brokers open. However, it's needed when you're starting to know what's going on, around you. I remember I had an agent I used to role play with, and she went to an open house. And she put it on social media, like, look at this property, blah, blah. And one of our girlfriends from college, like, oh, I didn't know you do that kind of property. It was like a $3 million listing. He said, I have a friend that wants to sell, in Orange County. But she ended up taking the $2.5 million listing. And those people end up buying another, like $3 million listing just because she went to this open house and posted up like, this great property. So it's being in the marketplace. And the friend that called her, she has not talked to her in ages. So you just never, it's just being, being there. Yeah. All right, so we talked about this quote already. So knowing and connecting with your market is all about the research you make. I mean, the great thing about KW is that we're loaded with a lot of facts, right? I mean, plug and play for sure. It's not everything you're gonna need to do, but plug in as much as you can and then put in some action. You know, you can't get all information, we're loaded with information and doing nothing with it. You know, you gotta take some action along the way. So a well-connected, that is a well-informed agent knows everything they can possibly know about their real estate market, whether it be a neighborhood, small town or city, county, or segment of the market, such as downtown condos. What you choose to know well is up to you. And you know, there are markets, there's so many different varying markets, even in LA, right? I was in Westwood and I went to visit a condo there. And the condo, yeah, you take an elevator straight to your units in there. And these are like, it's a condo. So you can look at condos and think, these are $5 million condos, right? And then when you walk inside of the place, holy moly, it's like, it's an estate, you know, but you would think, you know, you see those high, you know, big buildings and stuff, and you just think they're commercial buildings. No, they're residential. And I mean, this guy, you know, we went in, the elevator took us right to its unit. It was outside of each unit. It's like a private elevator for each unit. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, it's a different world. So wow, this is real estate here too. But some people choose to know that, right? And if you choose to know that and you know everything about it, guess what? You're gonna get opportunities there because you're there. You know, everything is not in the South Bay. It's just whatever. I always like you to be connected with your brain, connected with your heart, to do something or go somewhere. You will get more result from those stuff. You know, especially for most of you that are new, you know, connect with some area. You know, if you're gonna do farming, you know, I'm sure you guys probably heard about farming, right? A geographical area that you choose to work in, and just be diligent in staying in that and getting as much information about that. And you know, in today's world, maybe posting some stuff around it, it will give you those opportunities. That's how you become the expert in that, you know, area. Okay. So the three types of what's not showing real estate markets that we're in, right? The type of market, your market. So you have buyer's market. Let's talk a little bit about that. When you say a buyer's market, what does that mean to you guys?
That's when it's to the advantage of the buyer, where the buyer is getting the better deal, or for example, now it's a seller's market, and so you got all these bids coming in, and when it's a buyer's market, you have more.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you.
There's lots of listings at their disposal, so they have lots to choose from.
Nice. Okay. That's my interpretation of what a buyer's market is, right? If it's a buyer's market, you have a lot more choices to choose from. If it's a seller's market, it means there's very, very little choices to choose from. So if you want to move to Torrance, Old Central, Torrance, and there's only like 2 properties that shows up there. And you want to move to West High, you want to go take your kids to West High, school, and there's only like 4 listings to show up there. That's not a whole lot of choices, right? But let's say you want to move into that area and there's 20 listings for you to look at, then it gives you more choices, right? So that's the way I usually define those parameters. If there's more opportunities for you, then it's your market. If it's less opportunity for you, then it's seller's market. That's why they want to take, I want this, I want that, right? I remember in the beginning of this crazy market, I put an offer property in Harvard City, and we make a really good offer, and they give me a counter back and said, "Oh, we want to rent it back for 60 days at no cost." I'm like, "What the? No!" So I counted them back, and the buyer was like, "Gary, are you sure?" It was a nice house. And we made, seriously like $150,000 above what they listed for.
Wow.
And release the contingency on it. And they want 60-day rent back at no cost to the seller.
60 days.
I'm like, so my buyer is like, okay, she's a doctor. So she said, let's take a look at it for a minute. All right, well, I'm not gonna pay mortgage for another 30 days, right? I'm like, okay. She was the one cooling my head off. Because I'm like, that's ridiculous counter. But guess what? We didn't take the counter, but somebody else took it and closed on it. And I kind of regret that because my buyer was telling me, Gary, maybe we can do something about this. But that's just the craziness that we deal with in today's market. So luckily, the property I ended up getting on property that was vacant, so it's cool. And seller's market is less than 5 months of so we'll be like right now, you guys know how long the inventory is right now in the South Bay area? It's like 14 days now. I mean, if your property is in the market for 14 days, you're like, oh, something wrong there. Which is why, if I put a property into this market and I don't get activity, before you can wait for non-activity for 2 weeks or maybe even a month, right? If you don't get activities, that means you came wrong at that market. You should get activities like day 2 of the property market.
So if you don't get any activity, is that an indication to reduce the price?
Yeah, then you didn't price it right.
Okay.
It's definitely an indication for you to analyze where your pricing was and what it should be. Okay. All right. So let's see. So inventory, that's the number of properties for sale within the market. So, any given area, again, it's knowing the real cool thing. I don't want to say you should be a stats person in your brain, but it's good for you to know, okay, if I want to be selling in this area, I'll probably start with where you live or where you grow up from, or something like that, where you can feel some connection to. You know the neighbors, right? And know how many homes have sold there in the last 30 days. How many homes have sold there in the last 60 days, and what they were selling for. I wonder if this class was supposed to go in the MLS or not. Well, you all know how to get an MLS, I'm hoping, right? Everybody has signed up for the MLS?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can go in your MLS and you can look, if you click any particular area, if you click sold, usually go 120 days, right? So you can see, when you see arrow up, what does that mean? So next to a listing, an address, if you see an arrow up on the sold, what does that mean?
Price increase.
So that means whatever it was listed for the price went up, when it closed, right? And if you see an arrow down, that means it decreased from whatever it was originally listed for, you know. So that kind of tell you, okay, everybody's getting more, or they're getting apart. If there's no arrow at all, that means they end up selling about what they listed for. Okay. So you want to see that in the given area. And then you'll see the number of days, you know, if you do a one-liner on the properties, right? You'll see an area where it shows the number of days, 20 days, 40 days, you know. You'll see some shows 0. Right? That means they put it up in the market, they get a crazy offer, like, oh shit, we gotta take this with it. And roll with it. Yes.
Is like price per square foot or average sale price per square foot something that you try to focus on when analyzing specific markets?
That's a yes and no. Can somebody say why I say yes and no?
It depends on a lot of factors, condition of the property, what the property is, the location,
Yeah.
a lot of factors.
So if you look at a particular area and there are 3 closed sales, and 1 is a trust sale and 2 are probate, right? That's not gonna be, so they will sell for less compared to a standard sale, that's rehab, right? So if you just wanna go by the square foot, that's why I tell people you can't go by Zillow estimate, because it doesn't take in all these factors, right? If you go and there are, I mean, of course, with COVID, a lot of death has happened, you know, older folks dying and that kind of stuff, right? And some of these homes are tore up, you know, they're huddles and stuff like that. They just, sometimes they sell the home with a hoarding, with all the stuff in there. It will still sell, but you can't judge that for square foot sale to something that's fully rehab, right? So you'll have to know, that's kind of talking about how you know the specifics of the homes in the market, right? So if you want to, if you look at the Zillow estimate, it's just going to go by those homes that sold. And they always go within a certain distance from the subject matter. But, you know, in the South Bay, you could go west of Western and it's a higher price, right? You know, I used to live in Lawndale and and Redondo. Inglewood is the dividing street, right? You can have the same home, same square footage here. If you're looking at Zillow, it's going to show mileage from the distance from the place, right? Actually, when I bought my home in South Redondo, the agent that sold the listed was agent from Orange County. So in my house, there's like at the end of my street, on the other side is Torrance. And this side is South Redondo, right? So she priced it, you know, kind of like based on the neighborhood. So I saw that, like, oh shit, I have for cash on that thing. I'm like, okay, let's do cash before the wise up. Even on my neighbor was like, hey, God, Lee, you're in real estate, so you know how to steal this stuff. That's how we got, I mean, I get cash and then I refinance it at home. But I didn't want them to think twice and just give them a full price offer, cash, let's do it. And because I know if I turn around and wanted to sell the house, I could have sold it for, you know, $200,000 more than, you know. So it's knowing, you know, the neighborhood well, you know, the areas. And sometimes I do an area in Carson where you have homes outside of this complex and they're lesser than homes in the complex, even though it's in the same immediate area. You know, so just knowing, you know. Okay. Okay, I do want me to talk a little bit about Keller Mortgage. You guys know the value to Keller Mortgage? What do you think?
Can't you offer your clients up to $50,000 of renovations to their home so that they can get the most of the sale price? Or is that
You
considered?
guys concierge. Okay. So, knowing the market is very important. You know, you guys, I'm gonna connect you a little bit more. I mean, listen, at least different, it's a different marketplace. We have different ways, different opportunities. But on a straight up, if you're dealing with clients that are savvy, they're computer savvy, Keller Mortgage offer them an advantage. Basically, same kind of lending programs, but they don't charge them any lender fee. You know, any underwriting fee, any processing fee. They pay for their appraisal up front, so even if they cancel, they are not liable for the appraisal. Now they charge them back for the appraisal at the end of the closing cost, but they pay for it up front. And at the close of escrow, they will send them $1,000 check back. So, but when you have to know your clients well and know when you can use that. If you're dealing with a client that's like, oh, I have a quick, what is that? Quick loan or whatever, you know, that's an advantage to use for them. You know, that's somebody that's already fully on with, you know, computers, you know, they know how to send all their stuff on computers, you know, but you offer them that because it gives you an advantage, right? But I know personally with me, I deal with a lot of older folks that don't know, I can go pick up their paperwork from them, and that's not gonna happen with the Keller Mortgage, because Keller Mortgage is really more for online type of business. But it's a benefit. You just gotta know when the benefit is gonna work well for you. Let's ask for the credit fast for my son. So one thing I kind of want to note here is, so your job is not to become a research scientist, right? You don't need to research everything. It is just to understand how certain economic indicators could impact the housing market going forward. And remember, as long as you have clients to ask you questions about your market, the job of knowing the numbers and adjusting to the market never ends. Right? It's constantly growing. What's the growth level in our marketplace? I think some of the title reps, they will bring the flyers that show you every city, if it's gone up 8% or gone down 2%, you know, from the previous month or the previous year. So you just know what's going on. It's good. Just take a daily read. How many properties are in the market today? Something like open up an MLS and picture that. All right. Okay, so we'll talk about inventory, interest rate and lenders. Okay, so we'll talk about Keller Mortgage. You know, there's since most of you are new, you're probably going to be dealing with buyers that needs help, know what lending programs are available for them. Really key. When I do a buyer consultation, I usually wow all my people, even if I do it on Zoom, let them know about the available programs. And try not to just be specific as to the lender you want to use. Try to get educated more about all the available lending programs. Okay, let me just kind of give you guys a quick one-on-one on that. So let's go through what kind of different lending programs are available for first time buyers?
FHA,
Okay. And you guys know what an FHA loan is? No? Okay. Can you explain? Let's read it out.
first time, home buyers, you can use an FHA loan, I believe, every 2 years or something like that.
No, actually just one time.
One time,
One, yeah.
but,
What's the benefit of FHA loan?
you only need 3.5% down.
3.5.
Okay. So FHA, for somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of savings, it works for different kind of people. People that don't have a lot of savings, and also business people, right? So for somebody that's making good money, but they don't have a lot of savings, 3.5% down. Can you use FHA loan for every property?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, so which property will not qualify for FHA loan?
Rundown properties,
VA,
anything that requires rehab.
Okay,
a VA loan, right?
Huh?
A VA loan,
no, we're gonna come back to that.
okay.
So FHA loan generally works for mostly single family homes, okay, that is in moving condition. So if it's in moving condition, no problem. Now, for condos and townhouses, the complex have to qualify for FHA. So again, I want to kind of connect you guys, your dots to understanding what this lending program is. So how does a condo or townhouse qualify for FHA? Okay. One of the things, they have to meet the FHA guidelines. That means it has to be more owner occupied. I think it's gotta be like 75% owner occupied in that complex. Because a lot of investors buy condos and townhouses to rent out, right? So in order for that complex to qualify, that's why you see when you're looking at a condo, they say not FHA approved. Because they don't meet that. Or they also need to have results with the HOA. HOA is there to maintain the property, and if that HOA is, there's a lot of HOAs that have problems with their results. In other words, they don't have enough money in the HOA account if something was to happen in the complex for them to take care of it. So FHA wants to make sure that complex has that. Now, the lending guidelines is softened up a little bit where a lender can get what they call a spot approval. So I want you guys to know all this, so when you're talking to your clients, it's like, okay, I know my game, you know what I'm saying? So some condominiums, you can get a spot approval. And a spot approval means that that particular unit meets FHA guidelines. The property is in good shape. But most spot approval still wants to see reserves, maybe not as high of a reserve, that they will allow one unit to go through it. But yeah, so that's basically the challenges with FHA for condos and townhouses. Okay. Also, the reason why people go FHA, business people. So if I'm a business person, which you all are, right, as independent contractors, so you get money 1099, right? So you make $100,000, and I remember I was with KW. I remember I went to Bold in Westwood. I took Bold and I used to take Bold everywhere. By the way, I used to take Bold everywhere. So I was taking Bold in Westwood, and this guy, he made like $120,000 the previous year. We were talking, and he wrote off $100,000. I'm like, Lord, like it just showed $20,000 in income. So with that, it doesn't have to pay any taxes, right? And that wasn't gonna work for me because my goal was to buy other properties, I am always looking to do something. And by the way, if you take both, I want to tell you, my secret of not wanting to take both anymore is both always get me to do crazy stuff, man. And I'm just, I don't want to say I'm tired of that. It's pushed me as far as I think we wanted to push, it's like, even my CPA is like, Gary, you're not gonna do anything again this year, are you? I need to prepare for you, and I said, no, I'm not taking work. Because it would just force me to do it.
It makes you go.
Yeah, it really does, it does. Anyway, let me not talk too much about that. So, so business people, sometimes they write off a lot of their profits, so they don't pay that much tax. So now they're showing little income. So they will go FHA loan because FHA allows them with that little income, it gives them the most, one of the benefits of going FHA is the debt to income ratios higher than any other loan. Okay, so what is a debt to income ratio? That's your gross income minus all of your debt, the ratio between the two. Most lenders are 45, 43%. FHA, you can go up to 55, sometimes 57%, especially if you have a good FICO score. So what that means is that it allows you to take in more debt than normal. Now, as a rule of thumb, this is where you guys gotta know your clients well, right? It's, first of all, today's world, if a loan is approved, that's because that person can meet and pay that loan, right? But I usually, I'm concerned about my clients that if I push their ratio, it's probably because I know they have other income that's not being reported, right? If you have somebody that's I used to have a guy that works at the airport, check-in guy. So he has a set salary, but he takes in a lot of tips home. He tell me he sometimes he can take $1,000 home one day and tips. So I know he has other income that's not reported. So I'll push somebody like that ratio as much as I can because I know they can afford it, right? So just be cognizant of knowing when you get to know your clients like that, it's gonna help you a lot. It's gonna help you further down, your referrals, that you really care about your clients, right? So what else about interest rates? Okay, we're talking about lending. So FHA loan, then you have a conventional loan.
And a conventional, you have to pay 5% down.
Starting from
Or at
5%.
least, yeah.
So conventional loan, first, the cool thing is conventional loan goes for every property, right? So any property you want to buy, if you have a conventional loan, you can get it, right? The more you put down, the less the bank is willing, the more risk the bank is willing to take on you. If you put 10% down, 20% down, 30% down, they don't care because they know if you default, they're gonna get their money back, right? So they don't mind if that property needs a crazy amount of work to be done to it. If you don't fix it, they're gonna get their money back. They're foreclose on you, get their money back. So that's why conventional works for everything. Now conventional, what FICO score do you have to be to take a conventional loan?
580 and up, I think.
Can you be 650? That's too low.
680 is the minimum FICO score. And even 680, you're gonna get hit on rates. So if rates right now is 5.25, you may end up with 5.35. So the higher your FICO score, the better your interest rate will be. So just so you know, I think the highest FICO score that it doesn't matter if you get more, I think it's like 740 or 760, depending on the bank. So if you have an 800, that doesn't matter. It's whatever it is. But then again, so I've found out lenders that can do conventional 620. They'll hit you more on the rates. It's just finding, that's why you gotta know everything so you'll become an expert in it, right? Most agents always want to leave it to a lender to talk. That's probably not my recommendation, because I knew my business. I used to do that too. In the beginning, anytime I get someone, oh, you need to pre-approve, let me connect with my lender. And I had a coaching call. My coach was like, no, baby, stop doing that. You need to take ownership of your clients. Know everything they need to know, and then you connect them with the lender. And I think just by making that decision, I almost double up my business. And people stay longer with you than if you just refer them out. You refer them out, and even when the lender go through the pre-approval, they can pick up another agent along the way. So create more value in explaining things to them. Okay, so now let's talk about knowing your market, right? So to know your market is knowing the homes on the market, right? So previewing homes, you can go preview homes. Does it have to be an open house for you to preview? No, you can go preview any home you want. This listing just came out. I mean, in the beginning, it's getting to see everything that's in the marketplace, right? At this time in my business, unless I have a buyer looking in that area, I ain't going over there, right? But that's because I've gotten enough pipeline that I don't need to, right? So, but in the beginning, you want to go see everything. Yes, the easiest way in the South Bay is Brokers Open, right? So Tuesday, I think Manhattan Beach, in PV, those Brokers Open. Wednesday, I think San Pedro, Long Beach area, they do the Brokers Open, and Thursdays, Torrance and Redondo Beach. So just know when, spend an hour, go look at properties. Sometimes you get some food in there, right? So it helps you to know what's coming up in the market, what are they selling for, right? And then you'll see, okay, this one listed for $969, this one listed for $1.2 million, the same property. What makes the difference? You're looking at those stuff, right? And listen, it doesn't matter it's really more about you and the people you think you know, right? If you want to be a luxury agent, then go look at luxury homes, and see, by previewing those luxury homes, you see what they have in there, and it's gonna help you when you have an opportunity, right? Just be purposeful as to, okay, I want to sell this kind of, if you want to be a condo special, go look at every freaking condo in the area you want that's in the market, and go check it out. By the way, that's a good place to start. If you want to farm and not spend too much money, find a place where they have a lot of exit over the year, right? You don't go, like in the neighborhood I live right now, I can't farm it because it's like maybe 2 homes to sell in a year, 2-3 homes. So how is going to farm that? And you'll see those 2-3 homes, it's always different agents that pop in, right? So that's not an area worth farming. I'll see different agents will send stuff and then they'll give up, because it's just not worth it. So look for an area where, that's why a lot of agents populate Mount Redondo. That's a revolving door. People move through that place, pretty quick. So just find an area that is not overly saturated by agents, and you have an opportunity, whatever it is you choose to do that way. I see preview homes, neighborhoods, and having open houses is good practice to become familiar with certain statistics of the different neighborhood in your market. What other market factors can we look at when we going through open houses and stuff like that? What else can we investigate?
Average days on market.
Anything else? Just look at in the neighborhood, you go look at the open house, you're gonna be in this market well enough where you're gonna see it go pending, and then you're gonna see it when it close, right? So you're seeing, oh, that one closed for this amount, this one closed for that amount. I remember it was listed for that amount, right? So it's just, your brain is putting all these things together, and you see at a certain point, you start feeling really good that you know what's going on, right? And then, you can be purposeful. This is a contact spot. You can be purposeful in making contacts in any given area, right? They have been telling us over and over, do not call this, because you can get sued and all that crap. I just call everybody I need to call. And if you see no comments, I apologize. I won't call you again. And there was one guy I called like 3 different times. He cussed me out really bad last time. And he recognized me because of my little accent, right? Like, I recognize you. I told you the last time you were my friend. I'm like, sorry, I have to hang up. I have to wait for him to do his venting before I hang up. I usually don't make that mistake, but it's gonna happen, when you're making the calls. That's okay. All right. Okay. And look at this already. This is pretty deep. So this is telling you economic factors play a part in agents' understanding of the market. What is the employment rate in your market? How many workers and entry, exit in the workforce? What is the growth of your community? Well, I think I can look at that, but I don't care about employment rate stuff. That's for the government to look at. I think what you're looking at is, okay, if I remember one time when Toyota was moving from Thailand, we all thought it's going to be really big. Toyota is moving, it's going to be a whole lot of listings. Those listings ain't show up. People, there's still some people that move, right? But the people move all the time. We thought it was going to be a huge listing galore, but no, people just, it was methodically, some people move, maybe the parent move and somebody else stayed here, because those listings did not really happen. They didn't go out of the normal. It was just, so, but you're looking at those things and say, oh, okay, this could be an opportunity here, right? And the title companies that comes here all the time, all you have to do is get a vision for what you want, right? Get a vision for what you want. They'll help you track it down. You need contacts of this group of people. They'll get it for you. Of course, I want you to be ethically right. If somebody give you something and you get a business from it, you give them the business back. Okay. Don't get something from somebody. A lot of them are my friends. The one guy that got me into farming, 12 years ago, he still get all my title business from that farm. I never changed it because he was the one that, even though I have other better friends, and he's really more of a salesperson, I didn't like that part about him. However, I still continue to be diligent in giving him those business because they come from him. All right. So whatever it is that you have in mind that you want to do, everybody, as big as we are, there are some private moments where things comes to you, and it comes to you, and take action on it. But the key thing is most people don't take action when those thoughts come to you. And it could come from when you are going to open house, previewing those properties. But those thoughts come to you like, okay, what if I do this? Take action on that. It can be powerful. Okay. Okay, so again, knowing your market, neighborhood numbers, nearby shops and restaurants, nearby health facilities, neighborhood attractions, whatever the neighbors have, knowing them is good for you. So all of this, there's something we call law, language of real estate, right? It's knowing how the market is moving. This is kind of a subject matter on, I think I have another class that's coming up that's more of my favorite. Nobody wanted to take this class, so I'm not scared. Because this is more about the initiations of the marketplace, right? But I'll mix a little bit of what I think you should be doing, to help you guys a little bit more. So language of real estate is just knowing, how homes are selling in a particular area, from another area.
How do you feel about Inglewood and the market around the stadium? Is it like too late to get in, or do you think it's going to continue to grow as the range grows?
Well, thank you for asking. A lot of sellers in the area like, oh, I'm right next to SoFi. My property is going to go, and it went up, but it really went up like everybody else went up, right? It's really just the truth for everybody. So no, it's not too late for you to get into it. There's still opportunities every day. I think our market, let me not put my opinion into that. But yeah, any place you want to get into, because people are going to always have to do real estate. A family buy their first house, they're just a couple, maybe they have a baby, right? And then they stay there for 5-7 years, they have 3 babies. Now the house is, it's too small. They need another place. So people are gonna move when they need to make that move, And then you have the older folks that, the kids are gone. They got a 5-bedroom house because everybody was there. Now everybody's gone. It's just now, I almost made a change myself last year. I had a 5-bedroom house and my kids are gone, except for the one I'm taking care of. And, like, okay, and it's a 2-story. I wanted to go to a single story, because of my daughter. So everything changes for people. When you got to make the move, you make the move. It's funny. The house that I was going to buy yesterday at the team meeting, they were doing a game. And I was telling Fernando and Esteban, like, that was a house, I could have been in that house. That was interesting. And I didn't win the number either. But the agent was mad at me, like, hey, why did you put this kind of offer for me? Sometimes you make a mistake. Okay. So we're still talking about knowing the market. Any anything you guys pick up a little bit today, from this subject? We're gonna go to another area of talking so far. Something that makes you feel like an expert that you can talk a little bit better about?
The loans, the conventional and FHA, I've got a better understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Oh, you know what? Thank you for actually saying that. I'm going to take you guys back a little bit because I didn't mention about the DLO. All right. And, okay. So we'll talk about the FHA loan. We'll talk about the conventional loan, right? VA loan, you guys know that's, you know, someone that's served in the military or whatever, right? They have a base where they don't have to put any money down to buy a house. What are the conditions on that?
Now, I think I read somewhere where they do put money down or can put money down, but it has to be like given from a friend or a family member or something like that. Did I read that? No?
No, I mean, they can put money down, they
Right.
don't have to put money down.
Right.
So the real benefit on VA loan, when all the loans, when you get a loan, we call it PITI and MI. So principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance, right? Mortgage insurance come into place if you put less than 20% down, right? On a VA loan, no matter, even though they can finance the whole amount, they can even finance the closing costs, right? They pay no mortgage insurance. All right. So let me just kind of give you an idea. If you're buying $800,000 home and you put 3.5% down on FHA buyer, your mortgage insurance every month is going to be around $650 a month. So a VA person, even though they didn't put that money down, still will not pay that. It's a huge benefit. Right? But let's talk about some other aspects of what a VA, if you're buying a VA home, it has to be owner occupied, right? And so is FHA, by the way. They have to be owner occupied. Two, if you, only a married couple can be in a VA loan. So FHA loan, you can have mother, brother, sisters, you know, any two people can buy FHA, right? VA, no, only a married couple. So I've had, I remember this one couple, the boyfriend is a VA and girlfriend is not, but they're, you know, they were in a relationship and they wanted to buy this property. So I showed them, I said, listen, if you buy with FHA, this is what your payment is going to be. If you buy a VA, because you're, you know, you have the VA regulated, this is what your payment is going to be. Like, whoa, what do we need to do that? I said, you guys got to go get married. And they actually went and got married. Which is good. They're still together. As a matter of fact, I sold the house. They sold the house and moved out of state last year. So it's yeah, it's
You can't be single and have and do what are you saying?
yeah. The only time
What's that?
two people can buy with VA is two eligible VA people.
Okay, okay.
So if two
One
friends,
person can buy,
huh?
right? One person can buy with a VA loan, they're just buying for themselves.
Yeah, if they can't qualify for what they're trying to buy.
Okay.
Yeah, no, one person can buy. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
It's just we're talking about if you need help to qualify,
They
you know,
have to be
for
married.
yeah, they have to be married.
Okay, or both VA recipients.
So be aware of that. And then some of the loans, Cal Alpha loan, Cal FHA, that's the government, that's the state of California assistance program. Great for people that have good income and not a whole lot of debt, but they don't have safe money. So with Cal Alpha, they only need 1% down of their own money to buy. I always recommend you have 2% because if you do 1%, Cal Alpha by itself is usually higher than market rate. The government will finance the closing costs, but they can double up your rate. So I always recommend, you know, at least have 2% to pay your closing costs, and then the government can pay for your down payment. Okay. So what else?
Do they have to be first time buyers,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Has to be
Yeah.
first time buyers.
Yeah. Alpha as well, first time buyers. And what is considered a first time buyer, by the way?
Never purchased them.
And I have a question, is it possible that if, say for instance, a couple, they're married and they do first time buyer, is it true that after 6 months, one of them can buy again as first time buyer?
No.
Okay,
You can buy it again.
but not as first time buyer.
Yeah, you only do that one time. But what I want you guys to know, first time buyer is not that, it's not just never bought a house before. It's that you don't have a house in the last 3 years. Okay? And that means you don't have, how do you know you own a house? You get a 1098 statement for the interest that you pay on the house, right? So you always put that in your taxes because it brings your tax obligation down, right? So if in the last 3 years, you have not had a 1098 statement on your taxes, that's what qualifies you for first time buyer. So if you bought a home in Mississippi and you move back to LA, if you sold a home, 3 years ago, you can come back and buy it first time buyer again. Okay. All right. So since that was one that goes to you guys, I just want to give you a little more information on it. And then it's up to you, depending on the kind of people you're working with, right? Find all the available programs. Again, Keller Mortgage is a program, right? If you're dealing with a buyer that's a savvy buyer, right, they don't want to pay no closing costs, say, hey, I can save you. Especially if you're getting the buyers like, hey, I don't want to be ethnically right or wrong here, but I dealt with a lot of Indians and they want some of your commission. Like give me some of your money, give me. So, okay, I have a program for you, Keller Mortgage. Right, I can save you underwriting costs. I can save you a loan fee, right? And we'll give you $1,000 at the close of escrow. Nice. So that could be a good $5,000 to $6,000 savings on that potential buyer. So
That's because they'll be doing a lot of the paperwork themselves online, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's online friendly for sure.
Have you used it, Gary?
Huh?
Have you used it?
Yeah. It's not for everybody because again, it's totally online and most of my clients are not very savvy with that. I applied for it myself when I was trying to buy a property. And the program was good, but I ended up finding another program that worked well for what I needed. So yeah, that's why it's good to be, as connected as you can. One thing I remember I had a buyer that came in, and I connected him with a lender, and the lender could not get him what they want because of what they want to buy. They couldn't qualify them for that amount. So the guy was pissed off and left. And he went on his way home, he saw a property, called the agent, and he said, well, my agent told me I can't qualify for this thing. And the agent said, well, come on down, let's see what we can do for you. And they closed him on that property. And that pissed me off, right? Because it's like, that's a buyer, so it's really important that you don't take no. That's why you gotta know your clients, right? You don't just hand them over to a lender. Know what's going on with the lender program, know and have other relationships, be open to other relationships. Okay, what do you have? What program do you have here? Every lending guidelines is different, right? Some guidelines, you have to have 2-year history. Others, I had another young couple. It's in transportation business. Again, it's like a 1099 guy. So he did his taxes well the year before, but 2 years prior, he was showing his $20,000 income. And my lender saying, oh, we need 2-year history, so we give the average, we don't have much income. And another lender, he went to another agent, another lender got him approved, And about, like almost $1 million property, I was mad about that too. So I'm giving you guys this so that you can know to always seek to understand. Seek to understand. If nothing is black and white, the more you know about these programs, don't close your eyes to it. The more you know about them, the more ammunition it gives you to entertain different clients. So. Okay, are we still done, man? So now we're talking about build your expertise, right? Okay, this is the area of command. Ooh, okay, all right, we'll talk about it. I'm not the great person for this level of this class about command because I have people for everything I do. So I can't tell you totally about it, but we'll talk about it because I know what I know some of the stuff they do. So we're gonna talk about building the expertise through first step to building expertise. Learn the market, learn your clientele. Oh, okay, I can do this. Listen to individuals, keep the headlines in context. Okay. So first of all, command, everybody's seen command now? Okay, I would definitely recommend, listen, when I went to a family reunion last year, not the month, well, no, this was before COVID, about 2 years ago. I went to family reunion. I think the last family reunion we went to was, by the way, family reunion is coming next February in Anaheim. If you really want to know what Keller Williams is about, you need to go there. Not only know what Keller Williams is about, it's really be inspired at a very high level. Because you're gonna meet regular people doing crazy amount of business in there. So anyway, there's an agent in Houston. They took on command. It's a big team. I think it's like almost, if I remember at that time, it was 21 people in the team. And they do great. I mean, I'm talking, they do like 500 transactions. Okay. And I think it's gonna get to like a thousand, yeah, like 1,000 transactions. And they took on command. So command, in real estate before, for those of us that have been around for a while, we have different CRM to manage our business. You have the one that send an email out. You have the one that help you with transactions. You have the one that help you. You have different platform, and Keller Williams create command, and I plug into it totally. I mean, I've taken out everything else. It costs you nothing, right? Yeah, it's still going through some stuff, but it really gives you all the facts. You can even put your goal plan in there, and it can, it can remind you this is where you are compared to your goals. So I'm gonna definitely encourage you all to start with your phone. How start people start with your phone? Everybody got people in their phone, right? If you just make a commitment that if you're looking into your phone and you scroll down your contacts, you're gonna have 1,000 people, 500 people, at the very least 300 people in your phone. If you just make a commitment like, okay, I'm gonna put all these people in my database. You already know their name and their phone number. I love it. We used to have EH. EH would not allow you to put anybody in that you don't have an email address. Commands allow you to put everybody in, right? And you just make a commitment to put all the addresses and email for these people by making contact with them. and you got it. You do that, it gets you going, where you send an email to them, you can put the birthdays, Command can even send stuff on Facebook for you. That's what we've done now. We've automated where we can send it through command to Facebook, Instagram. So people say, no, Gary, I see all your posts right now. I have a video to do it, but that's cool. So we'll get back to the language of real estate. I finished my class already. So we talk about command. So I think we're gonna get done early. I've never done that in a night. Oh my God. Usually I'm going through, it looks like I'm finishing my course there. So let's talk about your success plan, right? And again, real estate is a contact sport. If you guys don't make contacts, you don't get opportunities. Opportunities are literally waiting for you, but you gotta call them up, right? You gotta reach out to them. And in the beginning, for those of you that are still new, listen, I told my team members, I say, I want you to go on an appointment every week. If you don't make an appointment, go to lunch with somebody every week. So, and when I say lunch, it could be coffee, like just call a friend, hey, how you doing? Do you have time? Can we just do coffee together? The coffee is gonna cost you $5 at Starbucks, right? Like, oh yeah, cool. Let's meet, 12 o'clock, boom. That's an appointment for you, right? If you just do that and you're consistent with it, the key thing is to be consistent. Now, let me just make sure you understand what I'm saying. First, look for appointments, real estate appointments, a buyer appointment, a seller appointment. If you don't get that, go to lunch with somebody, right? And when you go to lunch with them, it's really all about them, talk about their life, how you doing, if they have kids or, high school buddies, what are you doing from school? Just talk about them. See, it's something about when you connect with people well, right? And then before you leave, say, I just want to make sure, I am in real estate, right? Great. I need your help. Is there anyone that I should be talking to that's either buy a home, sell a home, or might want to invest in real estate? Those three questions, always put it at your back pocket, right? And know that that's an appointment. I can't tell you how many times I've done that, and they don't know anything at that point. But then 2 weeks later, they come, hey, Gary, I just remember my cousin wanted to do this. This person wanted to do that. And it gets you, then you get a real appointment. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes it could be 4 weeks later that call comes back. Again, it's going to so many training. I remember I went to a training, this agent from San Diego, and he does about 70 deals a year. 70 deals. And it says all he does is go on lunches. So it says tough for him to keep his weight because of that, right? But all he does is go on lunches, and the lunches always turn up to something later on, something later on, something later on. I said, how late has it happened, like right in the spot? It's always something that comes back later on. But it's a perpetual thing that's happening, more often for him, that it actually creates a business line on that. So if you just put that in mind, you'll get business. This is about getting you into business, right? Ignite is about how do you rev up business, right? And hopefully that share will get. So your daily success thing, I believe it's like, what is it, 10-5-1? Okay. I completed 10-5-1, yeah, for social media. You guys have you have the activity workplace, you have it down? No? You talk to 10 people, you send 5 thank you cards,
Oh, yes.
right? You go visit a property, right? So 10 people. So of all of you in here, who's gonna make a commitment? Because let me tell you, I had a client of mine, he's a pastor. And I saw him a place and he, so he used to go to my church and, he went on his own, but I don't want to leave my pastor, so it's fine. So anyway, he kept calling me like, Gary, I bought the property from you. You gotta come visit my church, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know, I will. And I can say I'm gonna try, I'm gonna make it, because it's service starts at 2 o'clock. I'm already out by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That it's tough for me to make a commitment to go see him. And so every time I actually took him to lunch one time. And it still hit me on the subject, like, you're gonna come visit my church? It would send me his preachings and stuff, all of that. It was cool. So finally, one day, it's like, okay, Gary, I think at this point, my wife is like, I shouldn't be talking to Gary because he's not even willing to let us do well, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, you know what, here's the thing. I'm not gonna try, I'm gonna make a commitment that I'm gonna come visit the church. And it's like, ooh, that feels so powerful. Guess what? I did that weekend. Even though when I got tired, and I know myself, I'm good in the morning, on Sundays. In the afternoon, it's tough. First of all, I'm a football fan, so. So even though I was like, I struggled at the service, even though it was a really good service. But my point is, I made a commitment. So in bold, for those of you that's gonna go into bold, there's a language of real estate we use in bold that is no try, right? Because anytime you say I'm gonna try to do something, you don't do it, right? It's like your phone. Can you try and pick up your phone? Can you try to pick it up? You don't do it. But if you make a commitment that you want to do something, your brain, it ignites your brain to move it forward, to go do that thing. So what I'm asking you all, because I'm special, and I know when you come to my class, you're gonna get something special out of it, is to make a commitment. I want you to know I'm equally as committed as you all, and I'm still going to, I haven't got my calls today. I still intend to do that. So you see that word again, commitment, I intend to do that. I text my assistant because I had an appointment this morning, photo shoot for new property. And then I had to do this. So I text her, I have a VA person that's on the line with me when we make calls so that she can make notes and all that stuff. We're gonna do it. So even if it's one solid good hour, we'll do it. So that's why I want you guys to make a commitment. Before this day is out, just make a commitment. Matter of fact, I want you guys, everybody pick up your pen. And you put an hour today, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Okay. All right, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, whatever that time is, write it down, write it down. And say, I'm gonna make a commitment, I'm gonna do 10 contacts today. All right. And then I'll prepare 5 thank you cards to send out tomorrow.
So what are the thank you cards to the people that we talked to today?
Yeah.
And say what? Just thank you for.
Thank you for talking to me today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Put your business card in there.
Like
I'll
a
get the
physical
address.
card?
Huh?
Like a physical card?
A physical card there, and send it to them.
Oh.
Okay. And the next time we meet, we'll talk about what happens with that. All right? Any other questions that you guys want to raise up? Awesome. Hope you guys had a good hour and a half with me. We'll see you next time, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I was kind of scared you before. You're not saying. I think. Sleep.
Come tomorrow. Yeah, let's see it. What did you do here? Yes. I didn't see it.
Oh, you don't know.
That's what I told him.
You don't know.
I just, I told them I can't go, because I don't need, they did. You know, it can be done. No, this is.
That's a lot, I only have like this much left. And how does it make MI
Or
or?
I think it's MYLEX.
For you said for the charge. Like Saturday. The trophy day. Yeah. At Dodge City.
No, so far, anyway,
At what time?
35. Spring.
So they go to the, they have the trophy.
Tell me if you decide to go because we got the tickets.
You do?
Yeah.
So that was Saturday. I forgot about it just to go see the Graham's trophy. They
What,
were,
Lombard.
Mhm.
See, I work with Lombard. So before they even did Super Bowl, they had a couple of fields, and it's,
Okay.
I mean, I have so much stuff.
Mhm. I missed that. And then today is the church. But if I do, I get all the Ram stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Because
around
I'm
still.
so Rams. See, shit.
I'm behind the phone. I really want to go to my kid with the car. So we're going to be in the phone. It's just, I'm gonna try to go. Everything for my own technology is important, so I need to do one of them.
Next one.
Register what you're for, charges, charges page. Like, look, I work on the field, came over to, I give away those stuff for free, when they have activities on the vehicle. I think that job just wasn't for you. People are gonna be, this person to just. It's not for you, like, so you go on tour, you see the tour, so I say, you don't tour, you come to football, that's, you go to the ramp spot, charge. I missed all of that, I was out of town when I got that invitation for that. I missed my preseason game. I went to Anaheim because
I knew that I got the tickets to that. So I still know my tickets last season.
oh, you have a seat,
Two.
or you said, what
I'm,
1, 2, 3.
age, let's see what it says.
99 years. Also,
I broke my finger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries, thank you.
so you broke your finger.
Yeah.
Sometimes they turn the lights off at night, that's so hard.
Oh, but.
All kinds of stuff.
I just went to. From Chicago, so I went to the first day, I went to the Chicago.
Have you ever taken a tour?
I missed my tour.
So you missed this.
See, I love that part.
You missed that. I was just at work playing. We played this in town. We played in the town. That was so. Bye, my friend. I'll see you later.
Take care.
Nice to meet you and you.
I know, girl. I'm gonna sit down. That's why I didn't leave. Just back and forth.
So I made it.
I was so tired. I'm not moving.
I know, I've been there, I cried twice because I was tired.
Just tired.
Yes, yeah, like, you just scratch. My daughter is like, yeah, you just scratch the whole wall. I'm like, okay.
Well, be safe. Don't you look at the prep agent?
Thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you for
Absolutely.
asking. I'm gonna take a look. How about you?
Yes. She's she was never a person.
Okay.
I told her, well, if we're doing vision study, I told her I'm not an expert. Take me 5 times to pass my exam, and once I stopped listening to everybody else who's scared me to death, I passed my test, and I had like almost 50 minutes left. And I told her, study the vocabulary, study the technology, study, I told her about a prep agent, you're a prep agent, you're a prep agent on YouTube, he's amazing. He gives an evaluation form, you can take his test, and you guys see that done. I'm too stressing out over this, and I'm not gonna get able to stack up tests, questions and answers, and I'm like, this isn't gonna help me, because what if it's not what I get when I go to the test? And
How do you know
you don't
that?
even understand it. Well, when you read something, you have like a question, I'm not correct, but the question is like, if the home foreclosed for 400,000. How much is the bank get the home for? 400,000. Bank get the home for foreclosed for, you know what I'm saying, on what's owed. It's a question simple like that. So I'm just like, I wouldn't know how to answer that question. You just gotta really don't be scared because I am the biggest need for us to take the test. I can't do it.
It's a mental thing.
Girl, I'm mad.
It's a mental
I'm
thing.
scared.
This was the Chicago Bears game. This is the guy sitting in front of us. He was drunk. He was
So drunk. And see, I'm still paranoid about the COVID stuff. I'm like, oh, mask on.
So I had to go on the front, grab something in the back. But we had a good time. I did not like the food. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed.
I'm so fucking
It was terrible. They say even the VIP food isn't that great, so they need to improve on that,
well.
and they need to improve on our parking. I paid 3,000 for parking, or 6,000 for parking. When I paid, my parking spot was taken. And I was pissed. Now, mind you, this is the first game of the season. What do you call them, when they come in early, the tailgaters, they had allowed them to take some of the parking spaces. And so I called them and they refunded me my parking, and then I sold my tickets for the rest of the season. Yeah, so I said they need to work on the food, they need to work on but the atmosphere, the ambiance, I love everything about it. I love it.
Super Bowl. That's what the child was. So I was Super Bowl, I'm in churches. Bonus time. What they call it, some states are UNT. Huge states.
You know, so
Huge states are UNT. Stonehenge states. Sterling states that are so what's the big states are routine?
very large.
Oops. It's huge. Office. This, it's shaped like this. It's huge. There you go. Top. That's it. Top box. That's it. Get your top box. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
See. Yeah. So here's really the sheets. Right there. Look at the temples. It's nursing.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. This is Easter Sunday. We got his first haircut. I love Easter, but that's what I thought. I've been here since September. Sweet. Yeah. I got this. She said, what's her name? Joy. Joy. What's good? She does. That's my school dinner.
One of the lazy brain lines. That's right here. That's Cameron's first one.
Oh, I gotta know what she is. Your cousin.
That's Luke, that's Luke.
Luke, yeah, Luke.
All three of my girls, I find a picture. Yeah, that's right there. That's Luke. There you go.
So Luke.
Nova,
Nova.
and the other one's Cameron. So when the first has been answered 4 days, the other one, maybe 5 days later, and the other one that following month. They're all on month.
All within that month.
Yeah. So this is Nova. She hasn't really caught up to herself. She was like, look, I got her, she's level 1 to me. Level 1 for me is you're not camera ready, okay?
Okay.
That's one. And this is Luca.
Okay.
She's Irish and black.
Okay.
Panamanian and black.
Okay.
Black and Indian.
Okay. Camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at her. Oh, the lane. Just how she came out.
Just
Oh,
to her.
oh, I check. Hey, there's one. Those are the babies.
It's so sweet, all these babies. I
His
love
mother granddaughter Mia
Hi, Mia.
tried to eat the trash of football. I didn't know why she did. She ate.
Spit it out. There's something about the spit it out part.
Mia
How
is eating
much?
the raw.
Yeah, talk
Yes.
about. Now, how old is she?
1.
Okay.
I don't know why going with it. Mia. That's Mia.
Mia.
I see Cameron, he was first born, how different he was.
Yes. Yes.
He's so cute. He catching up. That was him. That was him. Yeah, he was him.
Yes, a darling. Yeah.
Joyce won college. She's from New York State, so that's celebrated.
Okay.
She had brains.
Uh-huh.
She took care of.
Okay, that from is everything.
Yes, girl, she don't,
Tell her that's everything.
she don't come much.
Tell her she better remind her when she gets to New York, okay? Tell her I said she better rock that. Yeah, my baby is graduating. No, I was not. I had, so I didn't get no tickets for school.
Which way?
Uh, this was before he got his haircut. Looking like Coolio. He, said, oh, you know, I enjoy Super Bowl right here. It was just me, myself, my cousin had invited me to his place. They were 5,000. One girl got it. The Rams, they did a lottery. And she got it for 3 and sold them. I think she sold them. Oh, geez. This is my oldest girl. She's 42. Yeah, she's 42. Texas. And then the baby girl, I showed you the son, that's the one who made me grandmother. Years turned.
I'm gonna put this outfit together, please, and I like this.
I do too.
And I keep,
That's real cute.
you do that Goodwill, do whatever you do.
Uh-huh.
And you find a jacket at
A big blazer and
Yeah.
Goodwill too.
anyway,
Mhm.
find a place, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, I wish so, do just what they said, videotape.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
the
videotape
old
with
picture.
this phone.
That's the big, that was on my,
I can't videotape with this phone because the selfie don't work.
like that.
It's a cloud. Oh, you very much your little cheeks, y'all make it funny.
We would like make funny faces, so that's the baby girl. That was some years ago, so. This is your son. That's my son, they had the baby. Oh, thank you. And my daddy, he's 26.
Other than that, that's trash.
Grace,
Grace,
so
does not listen.
pretty. How old is
Grace
Grace?
is 3. Grace does not listen. Grace
So what's the oldest? You got 9. What's the oldest?
is 10,
15.
9,
9,
and Taylor is 6.
6,
Then there's Grace, who is 3.
3.
And there's Leah playing football, who's 1. And
And
Cameron
then the
is
3
one.
babies.
Oh, Cameron is a woman though.
Okay.
3 babies are for 3 different people.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So I have my kids, my eldest has 6, the next oldest has 1, and the next eldest has 2.
Okay.
Lily, Lily mother is fair skin with blue eyes.
Okay.
Lily came out brown skin like her father had me.
Okay.
Then you say no, like I'm off it. You may find crazy here. So I told my daughter, please talk to me about color. Know her confidence. Don't be upset. We all have nice braids of hair. I mean, people say good hair. No, it's not good hair. You have a nice braid. Okay? They treat me different. They treat my brother to where I would call him black. But as I grew up, I'm mature and black. That's not nice. That's not good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
And I was born in the 60s, so you know it was a lot. It was I guess depending on what families you were from, it was a lot. My stepfather was light skinned. He didn't even like dark skin. So, Mama, why'd you marry him when you got 3 black babies by your first husband? This and my brother's darker than me. He got like this. I think you're Yeah, so this is where I was for Super Bowl, me, myself, and I, my cousins, nothing wrong. It was just,
It's very novel.
uh,
She needs a real statue. Mama don't write it like that. They are not
they grow up so
playoffs.
fast. Uh-huh.
They do grow fast.
They do.
So in the playoffs,
Uh-huh.
it's so hard.
And actually won the championship, I was like, okay. Thank y'all.
So Georgia from
Ever put it on?
there. No. Yeah. Well,
He's always good. He has an instrument. That was 25 years ago. That's song came out.
it's so great.
Cause I was pregnant with my son when this song came out.
And when you perform, it's
Girl, I love this song. I love
being thankful for the show.
I love this song. It's time. I'm gonna tell my son, maybe he won't go. So tell him, my niece got chargers. I wonder if she.
It's just a job fest. It's free. Okay, so WNBA celebrity. Like crazy free.
Come on. Cute.
And Taylor is very dark. It's beautiful hair.
Beautiful hair.
Yes, yeah, we talked about children. Taylor is good. You can explain himself to people. Let them know there's nothing.
That's right.
Don't worry about that.
That's right.
There she is right here. It's Taylor.
Oh,
That's a good picture of her.
she's
Extremely curly.
yeah,
And it's long.
so adorable. Yes, girl. Love these babies. Love these babies, they grew up so fast.
I was videotaping their hair.
Mm-hmm.
These are my children. Perfect colors. Every person in that kitchen is my kid.
Okay.
That's the one that my kids.
Okay. South Cameron's mom. Look at that here. So pretty.
This is really something that you can't say her. And this is Luca's mom. How do you take her hair? Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, Luca's dad, the youngest.
Got to see. Okay. Love that name, Luca. Luca.
His little mom.
Okay. Sweet. Now, how old is she?
25.
Okay, so she's right with my son.
They go Jordan there with his puff cups. Jordan puffs.
Cute. Cute. I love it. I absolutely love it. Absolutely. So here's my daughter's hair.
She does.
Well, you know, do you make the, and I tell her what she was saying. How come it ain't playing? She's 42, so I had her when I was 19. So that's the one I say. That's the one I say looks like me. I'm a baby girl.
Make sure you call me.
Okay, here's a more recent picture of us. So this was 3 years ago, my nephew died there. She was. It's 26 now, she's 42, she was just. He's my girlfriend's son, yeah, her son, it's the same way. So this is, he's around 26, yeah. I get all the. So take the baby and I just been,
It's the activities you must be involved with.
I did. That's when she was a baby, that's the baby girl, just so you know. That's her. She was raised back then. Yes.
So this is. So it's city, your Christmas here.
He lives in Hemet.
Oh, that's far from this. They got pigs.
Now, where's that?
It's
Okay.
it's really.
That's by Magic Mountain. That's my son.
That will make you change. But look, it's very much.
Yeah.
It's called.
And it's free.
Almost, it's called a gentle form. You go some places.
The gentle.
But they feed you.
Oh,
That's all.
the gentle farm.
The gentle form.
The gentle farm.
They feed the horses. So the horses are injured.
This was her prom, she graduated from high school. That was her. And then this is when she turned 21 in December. Thank you, Jesus.
See, I went to the rings, what do you call it? Pre-K. I was just going.
And I'm going quick. My cousin talked me into going quick. So she said, we're gonna let you go. Cause I love color. And so I'm trying not to put it in color. It's a struggle.
But you know what the color that your hair is, you have to take care of it if you probably, you can put hydrogen peroxide in your hair and stay in the sun, to change the color that you have. That's how the color I have, color. And it's already brown, but you have to leave it for the structure. Take straight away, but you know what, I had gray all from my hair.
I'm gonna go gray. I'm gonna go gray.
Yeah,
This is my favorite cream, short cream, a couple of years ago.
yeah. What we are. You know, you get gray. Cheese. Because our hair changes colors. Very, very fine my hair. Long, my hair is slick. Okay, so all this hair is braided, all this is long. Stress, my hair is like this. And if you have no hair, you know, they will. I don't know what. So, I think how I think the makeup. And then I think, pretty. And pretty. And the joints,
How you spell it?
I'm just gonna say it, Finny Creek. Finny Creek. Finny Creek. And F-E-N-G-R-E-E-K, no, F-E-N-E-G-R-E-E-K. You would say Finny Creek seeds. Matthew seeds. Matthew, Finny Creek, I'm saying. I saw mine. Okay, I got Matthew. Matthew has zero.
Okay, there.
There you go.
So I'm gonna screenshot this.
I'm not familiar with colors.
Oh, he got 50 grades. And it's on Amazon.
But you can get them.
So it could be at the house, that's how it be there.
Okay. How much is it?
So that's good for your joints, the hair grow.
My friend is from back, that's tea.
Mhm.
It's bitter, very nasty, very bitter. But what I do is after that's what I do, that's how I work it. Because the whole point I tell you about that, until it's 90 seeds. So it's warm up, and I'm spraying my hair every day. Now I'm massaging hair, massaging hair. I took the Methy seeds after they had expanded, so I brought little rocks, like stones. After they expanded, I took the apple plant.
They are.
Crease. I just massage my hair, massage my hair. The another method that I used was such a way. And this edge, Dr. Somebody's edge.
Oh, I remember that. I used to use that. I used to use that.
But if you don't have to know to massage your hair, just So you break, all this, like this much.
Okay. This is my little cousin Nova, and that's little Kenny. This is Easter Sunday.
No, so honey,
That's
your
Nova.
hands.
That's Nova.
Just her hands, baby. No, just her hands on my hips, telling me, don't be trying.
That's Nova. Oh, you gotta see little Kenny with this cow.
Just bring it.
That's oh, little cousin, yes, sister, brother. You know what? I don't know, what is it? Capture. And what seeds are those? That's it, what's that?
Oh, it's just garbage.
Oh, yeah, it came up on
Can't beat them. This restaurant.
cause I just
It's so
ordered,
bitter. It's very good.
I just ordered. This thing from the store. I ordered this Sunday.
California Associations of Realtors.
Can't afford it, charge it to the city. Fitness,
Business awareness.
fitness. This is powerful city. Okay.
Oh, and it's at 3 o'clock and it's 1 o'clock.
If I go, first come, first served parking, even if you just, even if you don't need $10 for premium parking, it's still first come, first served. And I can use a badge and get in, with parking lots, police parking, but that's not something we should spend a lot of extra. Wait about 2 minutes.
This one is $6.99.
Cavita Market in Culver City, address. Cavita Market, Culver City. do have a number.
I was like, damn, don't make this like it. He's messing with it. And I like the.
It's then we'll go by the office tomorrow. To church, do you know?
I do not.
Okay, I remember. Day 12.
This is
Red Day, as Wilson's part.
This is our training room. What's up, ladies?
Hi, how are
You should
you?
talk to me?
I just wanted to, I sent you an email about the mentorship and I spelled his name incorrectly, so I wanted to know. That's
Okay.
the only name I knew,
How you doing?
so that's who I
Hi,
requested,
thank
Jerry,
you.
or is it I put Jerry,
Oh,
it
Gary.
was Gary,
Oh, Gary,
So,
Gary.
yeah.
Okay.
so that's what I
Beautiful.
That's
requested.
fine.
Yeah. How are you?
So that was it, Simon,
Beautiful.
thank you.
We're working on it to really align and really get you guys up to speed.
Yeah, but whoever you select for me, I'm ready,
It may be me.
I'm motivated, I'm even more ready.
Just kidding.
Okay.
So
What you tell us like
Patty,
Hi,
Gary, tour of the office.
I'm Kim.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
So this is our training room. This is where we have our team meetings, our classes, events, and all this good stuff that we just finished teaching tonight. Gary Nix, one of our top performers, is hosting today's lecture. So again, it's just on a Wednesday, it gets fantastic. So we want everybody.
You know, I enjoy it.
So let me ask you this, you have to make work.
This is Maddie. This is.
And I'm still here. I haven't had any transactions, but I've been here like 30 years. But there's been family back and forth.
So no explanation, I've been watching for a minute, I just haven't been active, like let me tell you, we were silent about the church on that. And like, now I'm like, hell, I did that, I saw it,
I've been a single mom for years, so it's just been a while.
oh, we should hear now. And you don't say, if we have those stages, or they didn't for years, and they tried it, we paused.
Yeah.
So, and you maybe start off right place, at night, that's what I didn't like, no, let's do your, my association, how to work, and that. So let me see, if I kept it up to date for 2 years. So now I pay that.
Yeah, I figured whenever my first commission is that. These past 3 years, so you invested, you know what I mean, you get a ROI as you go. But the whole concept and moderating, and you've been out with some nice people, the red day. It's cool.
Now, just speak with the orange, the title company.
I
What's her
know,
name? Now, we talk
Joanne,
am I supposed to speak to her?
not necessarily,
I want to
but she's always there for you.
okay, Joey. We need to call her, and see, she's still on the email. That's all.
I don't know if she does.
I wish you gave me the right name.
Is that what you have?
No, I don't know, but I,
I know it's with the orange.
yeah, that's her. She has an assistant with her. Let me see her, because I need to talk to her, just to communicate. Orange title company. Orange title company. You're right, there it is right here.
You come up.
Yes, Joanne. Thank you. It's Joanne's Orange Coast title company. So, yeah. Now what y'all talk about? I mean, not like that, but what are you talking about?
We didn't talk about anything, I was just asking her for a farm, some farming stuff, I think. There was a person.
And she said, let's get on a call, so.
Who said that? She said,
Joanne,
when did she come? Cause this is my first time out since the pandemic.
oh, really? Oh, well, she came, what month in April?
Yeah.
She came April.
At the beginning of the month.
I think it was the beginning, but I've been coming, oh, you know when she came? A Wednesday meeting. We had meetings, office meetings on Wednesday.
Oh, me too.
She came on a Wednesday office meeting. Right now, we're in this class, so I don't go to office meetings. I can't. It's too much.
Yeah, yesterday would have been. Yeah. No, and this is 4 times a week, Monday,
5
Tuesday,
weeks period.
for
Oh,
5 weeks.
That's
So
just
see,
it.
I'm leaving on the 17th for my daughter's graduation.
May. You did your time?
And then, Holland records it every day.
But you showing me this. Now you're leaving on the 17th. I don't know, initial calendar, but if there's any materials that we get, I mean, you print them or whatever, they can to us, get them for you, which I doubt because we got a class schedule, we're not gonna get nothing else.
Yeah, and then maybe I'll just call you and say, what happened, but she, Holland said she'll record it every day. Cause I missed Monday, that's not the thing, it's so much essential for this Monday. But I listened to the recording. Most of it.
I like that,
Yeah.
but it's okay. We're trying to incorporate this in, you know, I made a commitment to come.
I'm definitely for it.
I'm in a 5-year course, I'm trying to unite my business, and also this is the first start. But like he said, a lot of people who've been in business 2 or 3 years aren't even here, they should be, you know, there's so much to do.
It is. I was charging my. Set back here. It's my grandson. Mine is, I just found out a friend of mine's father died. Why he didn't tell me. Hey, friend, it's Pam. I just heard about your father. I'm so sorry, so sorry. We were just texting and laughing yesterday. I didn't realize that you had a loss. So you're probably on your way back to the shop. I'll keep trying, okay? But just know that I'm praying for you and the family. Okay, talk to you later.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I have a younger sister and an older brother. I just married my oldest brother in July. I lost my youngest brother 10 years ago and he was 38.
I was passed away at 36.
Okay.
Yeah, 38. My husband he had multiple sclerosis, but he didn't die from that. He was heavily medicated and it induced his heart attack.
Yeah, my brother had a massive heart attack at 28. He lived 10 years. He died at 30. You just got your heart transplant. On my birthday, on my 50th birthday, I think. So I'm 61, so it's been 11 years, yeah. So that was the happiest birthday. My brother was getting the heart. That's it. That's our joke. What's the last name? Yeah, Gabriel, that's it. And she said, let's do a call. What she said?
Well, I had to look up, so what she's saying is, let me get to it real quick. I sent her a note after we left class. And she said, hi there, thank you so much for your wonderful note. My note was, thank you, Judge presentation. That was it. She said, let me know when we can have on a call or meet up again. She want to set me up on the OCT mobile app. They have an app. That's
For your
yeah, well, I know now why I haven't called her regarding mobile app because I'm not doing an app on this.
You're waiting to get your phone.
Yeah, I guess I could do an app on my computer. Yeah. So that probably would slow me down from doing that. Now I know why I didn't call her back. I didn't respond to this. That's near at that day.
Got it right there.
You don't have
The t-shirt.
to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, I'll go fly to yes. No. I don't know what I'm for, but I was never has for 2 years. I know it's not been about passes. I know this word. I know. I just hope that's my side town.
So
I'm from. I just moved right. Well, you know, but I don't really.
Are you?
I think I'm this weekend.
Well, that's where my baby goes to school.
Oh.
So I just got an Airbnb in South San Francisco, 10 minutes from there.
Girl, I can't wait. I love working. Kids fix girl. I take so notebook there.
That's when she was decided to go to USF.
Or
She's so precious, so like you. Then she, not that one, but looking for rent tag.
yeah, just think.
So this is where I'll be staying. That's a house, yeah, I got a 4-bedroom, 2.5 for a week.
Oh,
It's almost $4,000.
Happy about you. They won't keep you that. Cause you don't pay too much. You don't pay too much.
Yes.
They said, come back,
Please.
please.
In a week, and
So
then,
they said,
yeah, then
they charge you
she got all kind of rules, no shoes in the house, I respect that. No company, and I like, but I'm, how you gonna tell me, okay, have company, girl? We had a brunch before the graduation. And my friend is, well, no loud noise, no parties. Where does she live? I don't know, but she got a neighbor's watching.
good.
Let the neighbors watch it.
Neighbors, I'm checking out for grand in 7 days.
I'm paying $4,000. I'm getting ready to celebrate my kid's graduation.
That's a big accomplishment. So,
Not to mention, I know the chief of police, I'll call him and tell him to come on.
my brother-in-law, he just retired from the juvenile detention service. And he retired, and they see a lot of the kids on the street, they had Marion Street, and they said, you really impacted my life. And you had me calling me. Yes. Oh God, I don't know where I would be when I came back on the streets. A lot of officers didn't like him. Then he says they could find him. And he told these guys, you don't have to go that way, just witness for yourself.
And was an impact to
It
us.
was. When we see someone on the streets, they're like, man, thank you. Thank you very much. So he was like, it was like, not what to do. God bless him.
I was trying to find a little red, what the shirt said,
Oh, okay.
but I know it says, red day, and it does say Keller Williams.
I read that. For that, how much they are, they're not expensive.
They're not more than $20, $25.
At my office, I'm gonna drink alcohol today, drink some alcohol. I just want something strong, they gotta leave me some sparkling water.
There you go. Sparkling water.
No taste of it.
That's
Today, today, I should say anymore, I prayed for God to take it away from me. Today, you need. I should say it was a shock, but anyway, I thought that was just to be simple, just to be simple. I don't
And I'm
know,
telling you that.
you know, and this
It's
is how I
a
flip it on
good
them,
feeling.
this is how I flip it on them. I said, don't try to knock me because my bus is in trouble. I said, you guys can't hurt her. I said, I'm gonna see. That's not what I said, I called me. I need housing. I said, I'm tired of press on me. I thought he did like that. So he told me, Dave, your guy is that you can smoke with. I said, I've never smoked it. I'm not interested in smoking. I said, it takes me about me. When I tried it years ago, I was a kid. I don't like the fact that some items get transferred. I don't like them. And I said, well, you get it first. I said, you know what? You know what you sound like? Come on in. It ain't no harm. I said, that's a dangerous statement. I said, I have to mind. I said, but you know, me is acting up. They told me I should really try it.
Well, they got top coats, you don't have this.
But I took the CPC for it, but it didn't work for me. Because it wasn't like disinfectant. So now it's all swollen. I want to talk about the ER with the church. You know, I'm scared. I want to go to urgent care.
Go to urgent care.
They probably do.
How long is it been by?
2 weeks.
Is it getting progressively worse?
Well, it's
Or
never
it
worse.
goes to, oh, it's a PM.
Yeah, when I'm at work, just standing and sitting up on the arm, so yeah, I'm able to do it, but this is what I cannot walk, I cannot walk, do this. Like, the right leg, this. I did this thing. So this is my leg now.
Oh, you might know my buddy said a roller skate, you know Stacy? You know how to do these rollers, you heard me.
But
They were at Rogers Park, but that's all
oh,
we did for them.
I was scared of people, I should have been scared.
Okay.
I'm not. But look, I can't do all that.
That hurt. That hurts. Oh. Well, did you not get what made it?
It hurt.
Mhm.
I mean, with the ER situations. So I'm waiting. And then the ER came up 8. So it was so hard. He's like, yes, it was so. He said, every time I was back from the doctor, the boy did.
Mhm.
And they just got a culture up. Like, what happened? This happened. I know it's wrong.
Mhm.
That's how that was. Like, they just were doing FedEx.
Is it IoT? Is it work related?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Can you get,
I have, you know what, I have a thing right now to where the MRI, I'm just gonna go call and make it, because I'm at that point. I was gonna have a really,
Mhm.
and the lady was like, well, you don't have to go, you don't have to go. I was gonna say all this stuff because because my paper. I just been trying to.
But you wanna be well.
I understand. So today I called their MRI, created an appointment with them. That's, because I need to know what's going on. But in the meantime, I can't wait.
Yeah, so go to urgent care.
Yeah, I'm gonna call her to care. So yeah, it's because it's not me. I'm there. I'm always.
Oh, you got your Dutch.
I love them. I love it.
We got a over 40 Dutch club. But you need to go. Inglewood,
Oh, whatever.
go
I love
on,
that, but I'm sure you know.
go,
I'm joking.
well, you can't come. You have to go, they have a club called Melanated Jumpers. And,
What is it you want to try to get? It's called, did you say it's called?
this may. That's you. Darling, we do line dancing, we do hula hoop, we do African hopscotch. So you'll learn. Go on 40 Custom Plus. And Google 40. Hit the plus sign. Every Saturday.
40 plus. You know, ADA. Now, I do see somebody double Dutch club, or you know, June first, 2025. Yes. Yeah, Facebook. Instagram. What?
And all you have to do is T-shirt or membership.
Oh, this one, first, this one.
Yeah, you can go on any of them, all of those, so that's.
You said one T-shirt. Just like, what's her name? We just started Joanne, Aiden, he had softball. Right now, it's cold,
Oh.
but I had Wilson Park, whatever that is, somewhere here.
Yeah.
Probably come up next year, but it's gonna go.
Yes.
And they just take people.
And then remember, yeah. Can we,
I gotta get my weekend.
we were in, oh, you do, you can still come.
Yes, I'm already coming up, but I would like to do that.
Even timing this exercise.
Yeah, I had 30 minutes.
I mean, I come home and get a new crazy and I'm good. But that's why I want to get those things that are good for your joints, because you saw how many was jumping on a mat. I went and bought one of the wheelchair mat things. This I do messing up my joints and all that, and my knees and all that. So.
My phone says.
To my son.
Look, I enjoyed you. It's just.
Yeah. I'm encouraged, because I've been in a form
Look at y'all. Gotta forget your girl. I mean, that's a nice stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, call me if you have any questions. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
See, here it is right here. Okay, 2022, all the chargers.
Oh, okay.
So far,
There you go.
yeah. It's free.
Something about that, it starts at 3, so I'll babysit if he wants to go, but he has to register on.
Tell me if you can't get the tickets, we got to send mine over. You know that Williams? You know that Williams?
Uh-huh.
I jump right back in.
Yeah, she got,
Mama.
she's an older girl, skinny girl, skinny.
Yeah.
Got glasses on. Let me see.
She's not there anymore, they just talking about.
Oh, she lives in Chicago, so he's still alive. That's the originator, the founder. Her name is Pam too. Okay. So that's in Chicago.
Okay.
Oh, that's you're talking about that, yeah.
Hey. I've seen you guys in a while. It's like you're looking out. Yeah, she went. There's one right now. I have one, I just hope it's track that. It's a four-way. And a foreclosure. And I'm waiting on her, you know, it's been approved, this one was assigned. But, so, tell her the story of Sager. Father died, she has a secret mom died, or somebody died, she got 18, and her mother died. So, the parents, her sister, Pearl, goes by Gary, and her aunt. Belinda or something that's living there, and for some reason my aunts could get more money. Shit. So, but. 2 point, probably 2 point. Up on Eastvale. Westfield. It goes up like this. And it's on. It looks like a cul-de-sac, but it's actually a corner. No, you're thinking of Eastview. So this is Eastvale, it's in Westview, it's Westvale or Eastvale. It's the like street, it goes up like this, comes around to the house sits, where it's the ocean, and it runs. It has 2 corrals, I might even have a fire. Well, it's actually higher, so it's not really a necklace, it's more like the city lights, and I haven't seen it yet, but it's got 2, 3 corrals, a barn, trees. It's gonna need some updating, because they haven't done, taken care of it since 2016. I've got to say, the estate sales coming, but for 2.8 and ocean and city line, because it sits up above. So if you're cleaning people, okay, from Hawthorne, you turn right, and you go left on Eastvale, it says Westfield, so it goes this way, Eastvale. So it's this way, it goes up to the top, and as it turns, you'll see this view. So, right. It's gonna be mid-May when we do the paperwork. Well, no, court confirmation, because there's a, yeah. Well, the certain beneficiaries for one side, and my attorney gave it. So he will oversee it. Even better. Yeah. So he's the kind that I like, and then he's the board, this is the thing, to self-ask for some money. Okay, all that we gotta do. So the 2 weeks I'm waiting to list it, I'm gonna get her the grass bonds and vintage, Victoria's vintage sheets, somebody to come in. And the state seller, right, so they get some money. And this is my other issue. So the one of the one is 65. And they've never lived anywhere but the family, so they're not really rentals. But I was talking to Sandy, and she has a senior one coming in June, which might be perfect. Let them live in there, it's 2 bedroom, longest, I don't know how long Carrie is, she has to be recorded. So if she's not recorded, they can live together if they still want to. 28 or a month, they split it, but you know, just standing on this, get it there without the just profit money. Yeah, but she's not gonna have that money to buy. So I I needed to the other day, we were holding all that stuff, I learned that. Oh, are they? I didn't know how to work it. I didn't know how to work it. So.
Silly, next time come in here, call me, I can walk
Okay.
every Wednesday, so you know everyone's saying that right.
Oh, I know that.
He's a happy kid, so even though it's like, oh no. It's like,
But he died, you said? Oh, how old is he? They know it, they know for sure.
yes, he's on his 3 there.
Do they know what causes autism? Is it the shots? Yeah, I was wondering, because my pregnancy, you know, I was 40 when I had. No, I'm just saying, no, but my point is I always thought mine would have followed because I was old.
You just never know.
It's God's plan, I guess, so that's a good thing. When they were born, we didn't have that shit yet. And autism back then wasn't as, it was higher spectrums. That's what.
No, they're all.
Yeah, but you're gonna be on Asperger's. Yeah. So he's low on the spectrum. But he's sweet. And so he's able to be.
So when we think about
That's yes, okay. Okay, that's fine. I saw the workout. Oh, that made her eyes just something like,
oh, I can't do, I was pretty.
that's like how my niece like, she looks like she's 12. So that's, yeah, we had office meeting and then we had the mentor meeting, well, yeah. Sorry, name up there too.
I didn't know that.
But that's okay, they just know, they've got a name, so I told them that probably you couldn't have bios or at least with somebody's, you know, good at it, because different people, like, people that don't have kids, won't understand people that have kids. They don't, it's just, it's a different vibe. Oh shit, I have to have, I almost learned with people, but I have my vision board done. April 30th, I know, but I've been getting all this stuff ready for the. What if somebody that gets it, works with me, so she's using this program. Maybe.
Here,
So this mouse.
Hey, Marie.
Nothing, I just like the outfits. So for me, so right now.
No, that's absolutely.
You got it, so the attorney's got to go to another. So I wanted to come work for me more than, so I don't have that listing yet, but it looks like we might go Sullivan now.
Let me know about that one for sure. That'll be one of the first ones. We bought a house.
Why?
That weird area.
Chelsea and all of them there.
Like I feel like I was not a market.
And so it's down in that area, that little.
Yeah, it is on.
But This one, it looks like it was built in 64, so it's probably original, so maybe in the 70s it was updated now, so just be prepared for that. Oh, they do, right, 2.8, you're paying for location. This is 25. So it's not big, but it's also got the half acre. So it goes down, it's got 3 corrals. Yeah, it looks like, what I can see the inside. Who knows with this market? Yeah, you know what I mean? I think if they fix it up, based on the condition, if they fix it up, the ones on the street that's sold for 3.2. Yeah, so if you're done, you're 3.2 to 4. 3.2 to 3.6, and they could probably really do the backyard out of it more because of the view. Those were on that street, those were ones without views. Yeah, so I mean, I never say for sure, you know, but you know, with this market, here's the comps of the ones that are done. But there hasn't been anything up on in Westfield since February.
And they're all by, and
Yes.
nobody else is by here.
No, I don't think so.
That's like there.
I know, yeah, I saw one of his listings on all of this.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, no, I know him, I've known. So we used to, hey, look around, he said, I'll meet you there.
I don't know him personally, but I like his son.
I haven't met his son, I've only worked with Jerry in this one. Well, Jerry mostly, because she's, they used to call them the TV realtors. Yeah, so I'm printing out letters, I'm trying to get my letterheads to, you know, make it work. Let me try that. First, watermark, and then it works. For letterhead on the same thing.
Yeah, we can add it on there.
Right, right, that's what I did too. But then it wasn't, anyway, I'm doing both, so I'm trying to get different ways. Right.
And we now ask it for help.
Okay. I mean, when, basically, you know, well, that's what it is. So. Like, so once you figure out why you want to see where your house is at, you should have something. The start is taking there. I do my comments, so what is this? So basically. So that's what you want to do. You want to go 5 hour task, 2, and maybe 18 or so. Maybe you might be able to pay, you got to go 25. Here, okay, so do your ring ring. So remember, you know him, you've met him, talk about when you met him. You say, you know, hi, this is what I would do. Hey, Joe, this is Max. I met you, I don't know, a couple months ago when I was door knocking, and you mentioned that you might be looking to move up.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you, I've been on your mind a lot, you've been on my mind a lot lately. I go out, preview properties all the time in Redondo. So I really think it's important for me to have a conversation with you about what your ultimate wish list is. Something like that, but in a casual way, okay? So this, go ahead.
Okay, ring ring.
Hello,
Hey, Scott.
hi, yes, this is Scott,
Scott, this is Max Wright, realtor of Keller Williams. I
okay?
met you door knocking about a couple months ago.
Okay, Max, I don't know if I remember, but hi.
Hey, so I just wanted to follow up. I was thinking about you. You know, the market's shifting. We're seeing a lot more properties on the market. Are you still interested in prospects on your home and sizing something? I think you should make 3,000 square feet, correct?
That's what I'm looking for, is 3,000 square feet and 4 bedrooms minimum. But I don't know if I'm gonna sell my house yet. I might wanna lease it because that's a good market too.
Oh, yeah, totally, absolutely. would you, okay, this is getting too close here,
So, you know, for the best way for me to help you,
well, that's what I'm gonna go into, you know, okay, well, the best way for me to, you know, help you with answer any questions you might have about getting your property rented or leased. I would love to get together with my partner and I here, sit down. With tomorrow at.
no, okay, so let me, if it's okay, did you get a vibe from him when you met him? Was it casual,
Schedule, right,
not
next
uptight?
guy.
Okay, good. So so I'm gonna put DU now.
Okay.
Ring.
So,
Hi, can I say to Scott, this is Max.
yes, Scott.
Hi, Max, or Scott, this is Max. I met you, I think a couple months ago from Keller Williams. I was still talking and you mentioned that you might be interested in buying something, moving up on your property.
I remember.
Okay, so if it's okay, you know, I think about it, every time I go out and look at preview properties, I think, I wonder if he'd like this. So what I'd like to do is, if I could, meet with my partner and I, have a meeting with you, you know, we can do coffee, whatever you think is easiest, or we can come by and see your place. Would you want to rent yours, or would you be selling yours to buy the other place?
I think, really, renting the home makes a lot of sense.
Maybe what we could do for you is break it down. We have very good visuals for you that will give you, okay, here's what it would cost if I rented it, here's what I'd make if I sold it. And in this market, both of them are really good ideas, it just depends on you. So the best way for me to help you is, if you have time, we'd love to sit down with you and your wife, because she's Untitled, you have to remember that. And kind of talk about what your wish list would look like. It's real simple, we won't be any more than 15 minutes. You have to remind him that you know his time's valuable. Probably won't be any more than 15, 30 minutes, just kind of come in, see your property, give you some input and go from there. It's really simple, you're overthinking it, so let's do it again.
Okay. So hard to
Don't talk,
remember all
don't, I know, you just kind of be organic and feed off of him, so I'll give you a little bit of maybe what they might do, right? Ring.
Ring.
Oh,
Hey, Scott, this is Max.
yes, this is Scott. Hi, Max.
Max Ray. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. I met you, I knocked on your door about like 2 months ago. You mentioned that you were maybe possibly.
You want to say you're home on Juanita?
Okay. I met you door knocking at your home on Juanita about 2 months ago.
Yeah, you're brown hair, tall guy, beard.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, good. Hi, Max.
Exactly.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. Kind of crazy times. The kids are growing up. We're growing out of this house pretty fast.
Oh, okay. So
That's
Yeah.
why I'm calling.
piggybacking off that, that's why I'm calling. Are you still thinking about possibly purchasing a home?
Yeah, the problem I see is the interest rates are going up really fast. And my other concern is that seems like prices are out of control. I just don't know if this is a good time for me to sell my place and buy something else there's really needed. So you feed on that, you say,
Oh, yeah, I understand. That's a very valid concern,
but sell your house.
but to sell your house.
That's a good time to sell because it is the hot market. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
So if I say, okay, so let's go back. Hi, yeah, so we were thinking about it just the other day. We kind of talked about what our house might be worth. If we sold it, and I have people call me all the time, so you're not the only one. What would make me want to work with you and your partner?
Well, honestly, that's exactly why we should get together. We can meet with my team leader, / partner, and kind of break down everything you need to kind of give you a really good idea of what you can do with your property, and whether or not you want to lease it, sell it, transfer that money to your new property. Yeah, how does that sound?
Great. The other question I have though is, will you be able to tell me what I can do to this place to get top dollar?
Absolutely, that's our specialty.
Right, and
We'll
then
go
the
through all
other,
steps in our
the only other
strategy.
issue is, what if we we wanna, what about, you know, a house that we talked about was, you know, we talked about it was the one something like 3,000 square feet. There's not a lot of those in Redondo. How will you help us find that? What makes it, and then you talk about your off-market stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I mean, I see everything that comes on the market, and some of it goes like the next day. How are we gonna be able to do this? And so, and then, okay, it's gonna happen.
Well, you know, Scott, what we do here at Keller Williams, we find off-market properties. We get contact with a lot of agents who are looking to sell properties off-market. And I know the market is crazy. You wouldn't think that a lot of people are selling off-market, that they want to put them on-market, but that's actually not the case.
We're finding,
that was-
yeah,
I
right, and you say
understand
we're
that.
finding that more people don't want all these hundreds of people for their homes.
Is that true?
Yeah. So a lot of people will put it on the market, but if they're living there and it's an emotional sale, they don't want all that. They still want top dollar. You know, so we give them the comps, they come up with a number, we bring them a buyer from there. And so, you know, do you have an idea what your budget might be? Have you talked to a lender, are you gonna pay cash? Those are the conversations you have and say, let's talk further. Do you have any night this you know, in the afternoon this week or next? And if he says May 9th, great, I'll confirm with my partner and we'll see you at your place on the 9th. It's really simple, say, I wanna remind you, we're only gonna be there for a short time, we're not gonna waste a lot of your time. We just want to, yeah, no, it's really important that people know when you're calling them, look, your time's valuable, I know. I just think if we can get in front of you, you're gonna see how valuable it is. You wanna talk about your value, don't be insecure about it, just go in like, we know what we're doing, you know, because he does, so Aaron's good at it, so just go, you know what? Let me clear it with my partner, but that day and that time sounds great. I'll confirm it with you. Is this your cell phone number? Yes, okay, great. Okay, I'll text you when I get it and you can confirm in writing and then we'll be done and we'll see you that day. That's it. So you're calling up, let's do it one more time. I'll be you. And yes, he's thinking about a move up and yes, he's wants to sell his. Okay, so that's the one we go into.
Okay, so I'm going back to after that.
No, you're going, I'm gonna call you, I'm gonna be you.
Okay.
And you're gonna know that you're you do think you wanna sell and you do know that you got an idea what it's worth, like 1.8 or something, right? And then you ask them what you paid for it, you better know by looking at title. Okay? So when they bought it, have you done any improvements since you bought it? We can't really give you a value until we see it, because it's all about location and environment as well. Because it is. I have a house that I'm going to list, and typically the house would probably be 1.8, but because of location, the view it has, and everything else, and it has a corral and all that stuff, it's gonna probably be 2.8, almost 3.2. But somebody could come in and fix it up and sell it for 3.2, so that's what's great. You know, we sell it for 2.8, they put 100,000 in it, they get 300,000 out of it, be awesome. So, say, you know what? Also, when I'm talking to you, you know, I know you said you wanted to, why don't you work on putting a list together, and I'll say that to you, a list together of things that you really want in your home, and maybe if you know an area that you want, so we can really hone in and find you the perfect place. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you. Bring my, hi, is this Scott?
Yes, this is him.
Hi Scott, this is Max White. I met you, I'm from Keller Williams. I met you door knocking a couple months ago. I can't remember exactly. Yeah. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Good, it's beautiful out, isn't it?
It is. It's a gorgeous day.
Yeah, I know. I was just out door knocking in another neighborhood. That's what made me think of you. I was on the Brokers Open and I was on Thursday, and they had these homes in South Redondo that I wasn't sure if that was something that you were looking for still. So I'm calling and verifying that you still have thought about possibly a move up. Does that mean you're gonna rent yours or you're gonna sell yours to do that?
We would definitely have to sell.
Okay, great,
if we want.
great. So I gotta tell you, there's some interesting homes coming on the market, but what I'd like to do is, it'd be easier if I sat down in front of you and had a conversation with my partner, and we really honed in what you're looking for, because we can find 90% of what you're looking for if we know exactly what you want. Because you're not gonna see it on Zillow and all those other places, those are already on the market. We can find somebody that may be selling that isn't on the market.
Okay.
So does that work for you? Is there a time this week that you guys have, that I'd like to meet your wife too, so we can make sure that we get both of your needs?
Yeah, let me, I mean, we're free this weekend.
Okay, well, I have like a 2 o'clock on Saturday available, does that work? Or maybe a 10 a.m. on Sunday. Oh, he's probably church, so say 1 on Sunday.
Yeah, one Sunday will work.
Okay, why don't we plan that? What I'm gonna need from you is get your property tax bill, your insurance bills, all of those things, so we know what you're paying on a monthly basis and what it costs to insure your home. Those are just some things that will really give us an idea of how to help you sell your place at top dollar too. You know, just so you know, there's tons of buyers right now. But it's still not pricing it right. So when my partner and I, and you want to introduce him, Aaron and I show up on Sunday, be ready. And that's it. I mean, it's just a simple, and by the way, we won't be there probably more than 15 to 30 minutes. Your time is valuable. We just want to see the house and be able to help you hone in on what you're looking for. Because why would you move when you're in a house that you like, you know, unless we find the right price? Because that's probably what it is. They're probably starting to burst at the seams, or they're realizing maybe he's making more money now, and they're like, hey, we could probably buy something else, and we've got equity here. So they probably need to sell, but you don't want to sound greedy, so you go, are you gonna lease it, or do you have to sell it to buy, or are you gonna pay cash?
Sure.
We just give them those options. Have you spoke to them yet? Do you know how much you can afford? Well, we don't know what equity we're getting yet. Well, that's great. Let us meet with you. We'll do a walkthrough and we'll be able to tell you that day, probably where to list it. Okay? And then leave it to him and you, and go do it. You got this. You okay?
Yeah.
Go do it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
Just
you.
go, yeah, just, you know what? Picture us talking to you in this underwear. And then you
Yeah, we can try that for it.
I know, if you get it on if you get an answering machine, just go, hey, Sarah, it's Matt, I've got a couple questions for you. I found some homes on property that might interest you, but I don't know, because I want to hone in. He might go, I did. I swear my life, I was, you know, so you don't know. I always leave a message.
Sure.
Okay, all right, goodbye. Let me know how it goes. Go do it now.
Yeah, those are big, you know, really, we're happy to be. Can we get better figures out? Really? I was, I love discussions. But it also is like that. That was fresh, so, that was.
She said already. Okay, well, I will see you then, so hopefully everything is quite eventful, you know. Say, you should let it on out.
Yeah, don't even do that.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I thought you were just completely right on that. Probably we have your word. Why?
Well,
It's easy enough, because she's not. The town, 1379.
So that's it, okay. Yeah, okay. I think I wrote it down.
we saw the way that I was talking to you.
Yeah, I see, but you have to.
The way that he just likes to emphasize that. So I need it so bad. Sometimes it's funny.
That's what I'm saying. He wants people to use his work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's not. But I was pretty fantastic. I would like that.
I think that I had to go back up and hey, remember when you like,
See, I've gone. Obviously, he was.
yeah. And that is
I understand. I appreciate it. That's fine. So, oh, no, they're gonna have to find someone. And I said, well, I'm not going to be the partner, because I don't know what agreement we have done. That's what I left. So you can say no, they say no. So that way.
he tried to get us to do it again. I was like, look at who we ended up picking, you know, we don't like it.
Now, this one is a risk. You can have a purpose. You're gonna have a risk. What is your caution? And you say. It's over. What do you have to do? Oh, my.
He knows it's over.
It's over.
By the way, the dog upstairs is howling like a fire.
No, but it's the most adorable dog.
Neighbors, you know, then you call this. She should have done that.
She said, she thinks the guy's stuck. Oh, like,
You say, well, you know, so we're like, Maryland Road. Yeah, the road was great. Somebody or something. Oh, you were? Okay, yeah, like, really, but I see, sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
so are you gonna let you do the first?
No, I think I'm gonna go with the version. She's gonna kind of find, she's gonna find. You know, she already. It's so bad. Super good luck that they have so many that they had. Joining them, they like, I don't know, whether it's an hour, you know, or well, I even kind of gave her an show you that email. So that when you do this, provide it. You are. I'm just gonna say, well, pay for it today, using my. I'll see you then.
Again.
Can't wait.
Come back.
Huh?
You can come back.
Sunday.
Sunday, so you can come back on Monday.
I mean, on Sunday, I think I would never do it. You know, I always say something. What I like to do is to make the day, because sometimes it's a little bit much. Things I do. See. what I can
So he's got hired me. When would you be serving?
I need to see the